Fear. Fear. It is rampant in our world. It is rampant in our lives. We wonder, what's this place where we will know insecurity or struggle? What's the visual sign or cue that things aren't right? This last week, this became a sign, a fear in our country. This, a sweatshirt with a hood. For this, a teenager lost his life. And the question is, who are we? And what are we about? As we come here this day, we are encountered again and again by the fears in our life. We are afraid of where we might drive and have to lock the doors. We are afraid of our houses being broken into and making sure we have a security system or a dog, because that's what the security experts tell us will work. We are scared, afraid of the other, the person who looks differently. We are afraid of our own mortality. There is fear within each of us. That's a truth. That each and every one of us holds some grain of fear. The question that is being begged is, what do we do with it? What do we seek out, or how do we allow ourselves to find a way of dealing with the fear? Now, I'm scared because in our culture, this deep fear is triggering other responses. It means that we don't talk with people of different races or backgrounds. It means that we put constitutional amendments on the ballot for those who might look differently, or those who we might be skeptical of at the voting box, or those who might live and love differently than our experience. It means that we will look at ways that we can defend ourselves, protect ourselves, right? Shoot first and ask questions later. Today, though, as we are drawn into this text, we encounter one who knows deep fear, or at least the reality of the world and what it brings or is to bring upon him. Here is one who has entered fully into what it means to be human, what it means to live in a society that at times is messed up and struggling and broken down. People who have biases and prejudices, government officials who are corrupt, church leaders who don't always get it right, arguments that well up among the people, even saying who has more power than others. And we know it's not just for those out there. Jesus' closest disciples wanted to know who was going to have power, both when he was here as well as into the ages of ages. Who was going to sit at his right hand and his left hand? So we are all engaged in this question that Jesus is living. And he moves forward into Jerusalem, into his final days, knowing that he has made people mad. That people are stirred up, hurting and angry, because he's willing to challenge the status quo. He's willing to speak a word of truth to the powers that be. He is willing to stand up for those who are down on their luck, those who are struggling on the margins. He's willing to claim a new way of being. And so he goes to Jerusalem, the seat of power in that province, to celebrate a holy day, a festival, the Passover. And that Passover is about liberation. It is about dreaming a day beyond what has been, saying that the ways of slavery are to be abolished, that those who have been down and out working for the 1% in Israel, that those days are over, that those who have not gotten health care or healing in the powers that be, but this one who reaches out and gives it away for free, that there is a new way of being for the people. And so he goes. He goes with his friends and with his family. He goes as an outsider who has lived outside of Jerusalem. And he winds up there with people saying, "Who is he?" And then this group of Greeks. And some wonder whether they were actually Greeks or whether they were Israelites who had been living in Greek-speaking areas, but they come. They come to the disciples and they say, "Show us this Jesus. Show him to us." And it becomes kind of a comedy, a little bit of a Three Stooges moment, as they go to one and the one says, "Oh, 1 second, let's go over here." So they bring them over to the other one, and the two of them finally get to Jesus, and, "Oh, here he is, now you get to see him." But Jesus drives into a larger question of, what is this all going to be about? What's going to happen? And he realizes that his life is going to be laid down. That his life is going to be planted in the soils of Jerusalem. Not for his own sake, but for the sake of the community, for the sake of the world. That when people look to him being lifted up in pain, displaying for all the corruptness and the brokenness of this world, that they will be drawn to an image bigger than themselves. And isn't that part of the story that we continue to engage in? That amidst those places of fear and brokenness in our lives, we continue to look to something bigger than us, bigger than this room or this community, something bigger that says the way this world operates is not the final word. That there is one who has such deep passion, such deep witness, that there we will look up and see a promise unfolding and yet to unfold.